Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Good morning, everybody. A nice surprise for everybody this morning. I've got my team here today on this special edition of Finance Friday. We're actually at the Exit Plan event, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to share some knowledge from the team with everybody. As always, I'd love to start with a joke. So this morning's one is, what's a mortgage broker's favorite type of car? A loaner. Today the team actually gonna share some of their experiences with casual and contract income. This is obviously something that we've been experiencing a lot more, and there have been scenarios where it's actually impacted our clients' ability to borrow. So I'm gonna get the team to give you some updates in terms of what casual income and how we need to manage that leading up to getting a loan application finalized and approved. Good evening, Kevin. Thanks for joining with us. Good morning, James. Always good to have you join us on our Wealth Coffee Chats. Well, good morning, Justin. Good morning, Margaret. So, Damo, I know that you've currently had some scenarios just around contract income. Is that correct?
Casual
income.
Yep.
Do you want to just share your experience with the client and how we were able to get, or how clients should prepare for their casual income when it comes to applying for a loan?
Sure. Morning, everybody. So with casual income, with my scenario that I've actually had just recently was when clients were in a role and they've been in there for more than 12 months, but then actually changed jobs. Now, when they actually changed the actual job, they actually changed it still in exactly the same industry, which was fine in that because it's still in exactly the same in exactly the same job and what we can actually do. But then they also got a secondary job as a casual as well. And that was only being there for 6 months. So what happened is that I could use the main income from the casual one, but couldn't use the secondary one because it hasn't been going for at least for 12 months. So you just need to be aware, especially with casual income, that you have to be in the role for at least 12 months before we can actually use it. But if you're in exactly the same position in joining with a new company, then you'll be able to use that. So just got to be aware of that casual sort of income coming through, that you're prepared, and also making sure that you do talk to your broker or your lender first before pursuing that as well.
So Demo, with that one, we're talking about if you're currently in a casual job that's in the same industry and you change, it's okay.
Yes.
But if you're doing a casual role and then you take let's just say a secondary casual role, your second employer needs to be 12 months.
Correct. Before we can actually start using it for servicing purposes.
Yeah. So in terms of preparing for a loan application, if we're looking to use two income, both, in your first job and your secondary job, you need to make sure that you've been doing both for at least 12 months for us to be able to use both, or else we can only rely on the primary job.
Correct.
And the income that's produced from that one.
Correct.
I think, Kang, it's really important for everyone to understand why there is a difference with casual employment versus permanent employments. And the reason for that is that even though you may work full-time hours in the casual income, and this is a common thing that we tend to see, people will say to us, oh, I'm full-time. There's a difference between full-time permanent and full-time casual. And we can see that on the payslip. Really easy way to spot that is, do you accrue annual leave? Okay. But the reason why there is a difference in servicing is because the lenders will only use up to 80% of the income. And that's because casuals don't receive payment for public holidays, sick leave, and annual leave. So lenders need to leave 4 weeks of the year out of that income when they annualize the income. And so that works out to 80% of the income value. So even though you may be working no different to, if myself was on casual and Kang was on permanent, his borrowing capacity would be better even though we're earning the same salary. But I get paid a higher rate being a casual to compensate for the sick leave and the annual leave. But when we're only taking 80% of the income, it can still probably be more in the permanent side's favour.
Thanks, Sarah. Just following on from that, and I know that you've had some experience with your clients recently, who've moved from full-time to contract, and how that actually impacts their borrowing ability.
Yeah, so there's lots of different types of contract. So we tend to see with teachers, for example, they will go into contracts. Their contracts are rolling every year. That's more of a permanent employment. You receive annual leave and all those usual benefits. So that we can use on standard lending policies for permanent employment. But when you're going into a subcontractor role where you're, invoicing them once a month or whatever it might be, and now you're trading under an ABN, it can mean that now we're looking at self-employed policies. So again, the minimum term for casual or contract income would be 6 months. But if we're looking at it now that you've gone from let's say a permanent role onto a self-contractor role, now we're looking at self-employed policies is what I'm trying to spit out. And that may be minimum 12 months because we're going to have to be able to show it through financials.
The biggest key in regards to everything that we're sharing at the moment is also around making sure that you talk to your brokers whenever there is a change in your employment. Even if you think about changing employment and you know that you need to get a loan, you need to have that conversation. Now, I know Howard here came from an assessor's background. He's been on the other side of what we do. As an assessor, back when you were doing assessing, what would be your advice when it comes to seeing applications where people have changed employment, and what kind of impact does that have when looking at approving deals?
Yeah, I think banks and lenders by nature are very conservative, so they want to see consistency. So that's why when we have the conversation with your broker, so they can get a holistic understanding of what you've done and why you'll be able to continue in that role. The lenders want to see, okay, you've got a pay slip, you're making income today, are you going to be earning that income consistently in the future as well? They have regulation. APRA regulates them and says they need to look at that more conservatively as well. So I think one of the things as an assessor we would look at is, if you've got the last 2 or 3 pay slips, make sure that leading up to that point in time that you have been working those hours. Because if they see you haven't worked one fortnight, they'll say, okay, what's happening? They want to know more of the story. So the more your broker understands about your situation, the more they can sell that to the assessor. We often have relationships with either the assessors or BDMs in the banks as well, where we can plead the case, I guess, for want of a better word, to be able to get those deals across the line. But we need to go in there with no surprises. Some assessors are very good at seeing trends that you might think you're getting away with something, but they'll often see that as well. So we need to go in there without surprise.
And I think it's really like when we change employment, we make educated decisions. So we may talk to our partner, we may talk to friends, family, come talk to your broker. And the reason for that is that when we are having these conversations with you and with our clients, we create these strategies. So what is your future goals? What is it that you want to achieve? And maybe that move is going to be beneficial and help you achieve those goals easier and sooner. Or, maybe we needed to make those changes in order to achieve the goal. But it's all about making an educated decision about what's right for you. If we need to change the strategy, life happens, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. And, it's important to keep us involved in those sorts of things. We're not going to go running to the lender and say, oh, they've changed income, we need to redo the loan. It just means that for the future, now we know what we're playing at. If you've got a property purchase coming up in 6 months' time, you're going from permanent employment to subcontractor role, we need to maybe discuss that because it's coming into more of a current need.
And I guess also with Howard's perspective, what he just said about for assessments as well is that we also, a good way to let us know with your income is also give us the employment contract, because then we can actually decide, do you get paid weekly? Do you get paid fortnightly or monthly? So then we can actually decide when's a good time to actually show the lender what we need to show them. So we can show them your employment contract. If we're monthly, we can at least give them one pay slip just to get the ball rolling for servicing to make sure is it right for you.
Look, I think from all of this information that we've shared, the most important takeaway is that you should have a conversation with your broker, and there is a preparation stage, especially when we're talking about casual and contract income. Leading into a loan settlement, there are strategies that we can talk to you about how to use that income in order for us to make the application work, and in order for the lenders to be able to approve the loan. And that's actually what we're there for. So my biggest takeaway from that is don't talk to your broker when you need the loan. Talk to your broker leading up to when you need the loan, because we can actually help prepare for the loan as opposed to just working on your transaction. It's not to say that we can't come up with a solution either way, but sometimes it's better to prepare you and put you in a better solution now rather than trying to put you in a solution and then fixing it later on.
Proactive versus reactive.
Absolutely.
And I think that's key. I know with the clients that I've seen do the best, they involve their team for everything. I'm a broker, I'm a counsellor, I'm a marriage counsellor, I've seen it all. But, their team is involved in every decision they make. And they're the ones that I see go the furthest, because they're making those educated decisions on, what might be an emotional decision at the time.
Yep.
I think we had one recently with Wendy wasn't it, where her client rang her to discuss a change of employment, and it turned out it had nothing to do with the employment. Like it became this almost D&M strategy session where they're talking about life goals and what is it that how much this new job's going to change their life. And we want to hear those stories too. It's not just a case of, let us know. It's about discuss it and find out what that means for you on this end.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of information, especially Wendy's client's case, where we were talking about whether the additional income was actually worth the mental stress, and whether how that would help future goals, but what impact that actually makes on you as an individual. So there's more than just the numbers part of it. It does play a part, but we want to make sure that you're not put in a position that you're going to be overstressed just because there's an opportunity to make more money, and the happiness part of being employed and doing your work is a big factor in your long-term financial success. When it comes to long-term wealth creation, your mental health and your happiness plays a big part in you being able to actually achieve that. So keep that in mind. With that, we're going to get back to the event. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning. Thanks, Courtney, for your messages. Have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch up with you next week. See you guys.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.au.